and welcome back to my channel. I am the Mass Trans and you are watching me, baby. Now before we get today's video started, I just want to give a quick what's up to my peeps and a diabolical middle finger to the creeps. You know who you are. Alright you guys, it is Sunday afternoon, right? And I had just made a video about Nikita Dragon and Tyga and black women and all of that stuff. But another subject came up that I wanted to touch on. But in addition to another subject that came up, I also left out a point that I wanted to make about that previous video, so I'm just make that right here. And I just find it ironic, right, that Asian Doll the Brat is coming for Nikita Dragon for, quote unquote, trying to be a black woman, but at the same time, your name is Asian Doll the Brat. I don't know, it was just a little piece of irony for me. Just a little piece of irony, like, why your name ain't Nubian Doll the Brat? Why your name ain't African Doll the Brat? I'm just saying, girl, embrace you. Embrace you. If you're going to come for her, embrace you too. So moving on from that. I went to Target, ran my errands, came back, and on my YouTube suggestions popped up a video from Kwame Brown, and he was talking about a recent interview from Lil Nas X on The Breakfast Club, where Lil Nas X, when questioned about his responsibility to children, basically said, F your kids, right? Because people keep putting the onus on him for being responsible for children that he did not birth. Don't make no sense to me, but apparently he is responsible for everyone's children. So I watched a little bit of the video. So Kwame is on the treadmill and he's basically saying, and I didn't watch the video in its entirety, right? Because I've seen too many of these videos at this point that it's just like, look, if you've seen one, you've seen them all. And he was referencing a video from Willie D from the Ghetto Boys. It was so cute. It's hot under this mask, y'all, so this is going to be a short video, I promise you. Let me grab one of these bills and fan myself. So, Kwame is on the treadmill, and he's saying basically how it's hypocritical of Lil Nas X and basically indirectly, addressing the LGBTQIAP plus community, saying that we as a whole don't want to take responsibility for what we put out there, and every time we're playing quote unquote the victim card when it comes to the attacks that are being made on the community at large.
And do me a lie, I'm gonna do it just like this, but I gotta finish my times. I had to slow this down and talk to y'all. And somebody go at Willie D live in this. At Willie D live. Willie D, legendary rapper, what are you with, the Ghetto Boys down there in Texas. I think he just spoke up about the Lil Nas X situation.
Lil Nas X fixed his mouth to say, fuck your kids, in that order. Fair.
And why it seems like the media won't cover him saying, F them kids.
Do you feel the pressure of, I see it all the time, parents will be like, you know, you have a responsibility because kids are watching. You hear that? Do you feel that same way? Like, raise your own kids?
I feel like I used to, but now it's just like, so? Like fuck your kids.
After all the tickets these parents bought, now it's F the kids. After all the elementary schools and middle schools he went to, now it's F the kids. Because you don't want to be accountable for the behavior. See, that's why I've been saying this whole time, I watch behavior. And there are certain groups that don't want to take accountability for their behavior. They want to make it about sexuality. All of Lil Nas X videos should be age restricted to kids over 18 years old. And that's point blank and period. I like the thong song. I love the thong. Ooh, I love that video. Ooh, woo. The thong, that thong. I love that video. But I don't want it around the kids either. So it don't have nothing to do with sexuality. It's about what's appropriate for these impressionable minds to see. And that's not something. They shouldn't be seeing the thong. And they damn sure shouldn't be seeing no motherfucker sliding down to the devil's den. So I'll see y'all upstairs in a minute. I gotta finish my time. I'm getting this dad bod together in my basement. I'm like, hey, we gotta all work and get this shit right and tight. Cause you never know. Never know. Everybody stay breaking sweat ready. Gone.
It's just so crazy to me, right? I'm telling you, to be black and to be trans, to be black and to be gay, to be black and to be queer, it is a very difficult road to navigate, right? Because I'm deeply connected to my blackness. I'm black. I'm black. Look, if the police, when someone identify me, they're going to say it was a black woman, right? Or black trans woman, whatever you want to say. They're going to put that black first. So that's what I feel connected to first. But then when you're trans or getting queer or gay, lesbian, not even lesbian so much, because I don't even think lesbians get, I don't know the struggle of lesbians, so let me not speak to what their struggles might be, right? But I do know that when you're black, gay, trans, queer, what have you, gender non-conforming, your people can make you feel away. Now I'm not going to denounce my blackness, what have you, because look, that's me all day. I make no apologies for that. But at the same time, I don't understand how come black people simply don't get it. I don't understand how come black people who get persecuted and maligned and vilified and what have you, I don't understand how they don't understand what it feels like to perpetrate that on another group. I don't understand it. I just simply do not get it, right? And so in this video, Kwame was talking about, Lil Nas X has been going to schools and doing all of this other stuff, and now all of a sudden it's F your kids. It's not F your kids, right? Because Lil Nas X can go to a school, right? Lil Nas X didn't go to a school and do Call Me By Your Name at a school. He didn't go to a school and start kissing men and doing stuff that was inappropriate. He went there to motivate kids. That's what he did. He went there to surprise kids. That's what he did. Now, don't blame Lil Nas X for your job. It upsets me in the same way that it upsets me when people blame Nicki Minaj for people not getting vaccinated. That's just like the dumbest ish I've ever heard of. Whatever Nicki Minaj tweeted, if that stopped you from getting vaccinated, then as far as I'm concerned, you were ready to go. You were ready to go. Nicki Minaj tweeting that she didn't get vaccinated shouldn't be the impetus for you to decide that you're not going to get vaccinated. And now suddenly she's become the face of the anti-vaxxer movement. It's stupid. It's dumb. It's not her job to make people be vaccinated. The goddamn president couldn't do it. Come on. And now because people don't want to be responsible and accountable for the children that they're creating, suddenly the onus is on Lil Nas X to be a role model to your children. Guess what? He is a role model. He is a role model to little gay, black, trans, queer children out there who don't feel like they belong, who don't feel like they exist, who have not had a role model, who now have someone who they can look up to. And granted that everything that he creates is not intended for children. He is a grown man. Now, I can see if he went beat down a Sesame Street, with a thong on and some pumps in front of kids, I can understand the dilemma. I can understand it. But it's your job to police your children. It's your job. It is your job to police your children. You lay down. You the one who left the condom on the nightstand. You did that. You didn't invite Lil Nas X to the room when you was having that moment, did you? So now suddenly it's his job to raise your kids. Get the out of here with that. You keep using the children as a scapegoat. So when Lil Nas X says F the kids, he's talking about F these scapegoat kids that you keep trying to use as a reason to discriminate on this man. Those are the kids, those kids that don't exist. Please bring me a child who is running around here with braids in their hair and high heel shoes and what have you, saying, "Ooh, mom, I learned this from Lil Nas X." please, it's not happening. And then I want to know, do you guys remember, it was about maybe 2 months ago, 3 months ago, I don't remember exactly how long, but there was a video that went viral. This little gay black boy who his big brother, his absentee father, right? Where's the father? Because we're concerned about the kids. Where's the dad? The dad is absent, and his brother is punching him in the face. His mother is recording him being punched and brutalized by his brother for being gay. They carved the word gay, I'm gay, on the side of this boy's head and humiliated him. And this is a kid, right? Because we're concerned about the kids. We're worried about the kids. Where's the outrage for that? Because see, I'm not making this up. We saw the video of what they did to this young boy because he was gay. But everybody's concerned about the kids. You're not concerned about the kids when they're being abused. Because I didn't see Kwame step up and make a video about that. I didn't see Willie D denouncing that. Because in some sick, twisted way, they're okay with it. And that's why Lil Nas X's presence is so important. It is so important. The only child that Lil Nas X gave birth to was his album. That's the only baby he is responsible for. You have kids, you be responsible for your kids. It ain't my job. People always want you to be responsible for your kids, but if I grab one of your little badass kids and smack them on their behind for acting up appropriate, don't put your hands on my kids. I raised my kids. Y'all know they will. You know they will go left if you try to discipline their kids. You don't want people to discipline them. You don't want people to say anything to them, but suddenly we're accountable for raising them. No, you had them. You raised them. You raise them. You can't have it both ways. You don't want people saying anything to your kids. But then you want people to watch how they move as adults. I'm grown. I'm grown now. The child is in the room. Yes, I'm going to be mindful of what I say in the presence of a child. But the BET Awards is not for children. Okay? It is not for children. The BET Awards is for adults. And listen, I knew that I was trans probably when I was 3 years old, before I even had language. I knew that I was trans. Every time we played house, I was mama. You had one time to try to make me daddy. You know, and these kids need role models. And not only do the kids need role models, these parents, if you're concerned about the kids, these parents need role models of what it looks like to raise a young black queer child in a healthy way. This is the reason why so many young black kids are being exploited, queer kids in general, and in particular, are being exploited sexually, are contracting sexually transmitted diseases at an early age, and have a lower life expectancy and a higher suicide rate than their heterosexual contemporaries. There is a reason for that, and it's this sort of dog whistle. See, that's exactly what it is. Even though I come on here as a cat, I can still hear a dog whistle with these ears. And the stuff that Kwame Brown, the Willie D's, the T.I.'s, the Lil Boosies, who keep constantly trying to dress up homophobia and put lipstick on it and push it out there and tell us it's not homophobia, I can still hear it and see it and recognize it for what it is. It's homophobia. And granted, right, because I think that some people think that homophobia means that you're out there waiting for a gay person around the corner with a bat. And when you see someone who's gay or queer or trans, that you're going to jump on them and pounce. You know, that is the extreme version of homophobia. But there are degrees, there are tiers. You may be a tier 1 homophobe. You know, you may not have graduated up to tier 10. Or you may have started at tier 10 and have gradually come down to tier 6, right? And now that you're at tier 6 and you've assimilated to some degree, you feel that because I went from 10 to 6, I'm no longer homophobic. No, baby, you got to make it down to a 0 to no longer be homophobic. Because see, even I, again, as a trans woman, I'm probably at a tier 2. I still have work to do. Because, again, like I said earlier, because me and my man present as a heterosexual couple, there's a privilege that goes along with that in society. And because I have that privilege, sometimes I can be a little homophobic when I see two men. And that tells me that I have work to do. Right? And the problem isn't Lil Nas X loving who he chooses to love. The problem is, why am I pushing my feelings and my angst off of him? That's not his trauma, that's mine that I have to deal with. Your sexual orientation is something that is innate. It is innate. And y'all need to cut it out. This world is filled with all sorts of different people. Everyone has a right to exist. There are gay people, straight people, lesbians, trans, black, white, heterosexual, asexual. The world is full of all types of people, and everybody has the right to have representation in the media. It's not just what you want to see, not just what you think your kids deserve to see. If you don't want to see them, take the phones out their hands, take the iPads out their hands, turn the TVs off. No one's complaining about all this Pop the Molly and you know, all of the drugs and things. No one's complaining about that. No one's complaining about that. Normani went to the MTV Awards and had a whole softcore porn moment with Tiana Taylor. No one cares because she's not a gay man. No one cares. No one cares. And I'm sick of these double standards. And until black people can just sit down and be honest, not all black people again. I'm trying to make a conscious choice to not speak in broad sweeping terms, right? Because it's not all black people. But the ignorant black people out there, until you can just honestly say to yourself, homosexuality makes me uncomfortable, we can't even have a conversation because you're lying. Because you're lying. It's the homosexual, it's the nerve, it's the audacity to be yourself that has you upset. Because look, Sam Smith is out there doing his thing. Sam Smith is out there. Elton John, one of the biggest pop artists in the world, the universe. No one, Sam Smith had a whole Beyonce video moments, right? No one's tripping off of Sam Smith. But it's a black queer man that is all of a sudden public enemy number one. Black men and their fragile masculinity just cannot simply take, and it's also the fact, let me tell you what also is the problem with Lil Nas X. See, Lil Nas X is a threat because he's not stereotypically gay, right? For me, even when I watch him, his femininity is almost manufactured, right? He doesn't come across to me as someone who is just naturally effeminate. It's almost like he's trying to create this effeminate persona that he's presenting. And the fact that he is so normal, he's normal, right? He looks like your little brother. He looks like your cousin. He looks like your homeboy. He looks like your daughter's boyfriend. It's just like, damn. I didn't know that they could look and behave like that. I didn't know that this was possible. And it makes people uncomfortable because everyone has this notion that gay is just one thing, and that's flamboyant, over the top, effeminate, and don't understand that there is a spectrum. There is a spectrum. And all of these men out here, the Kwame Browns, the Scarfaces of the world, I guarantee you, someone close to you is either LGBTQIAP+, or dipping and dodging with someone who is. And I don't understand why all of this energy is put into who another person is sleeping with. Why are you so invested in that? Why? Why? It just makes no sense to me that people are so concerned with who another person chooses to love. So all this talk about, Lil Nas X saying F your kids, people are trying to take this and blow this up into a thing when it's not a thing at all. And saying, why isn't the media covering this? Because it wasn't a thing. Even in the moment that he said it, he corrected himself. Like, I don't like literally mean F your kids, but I'm just saying, basically what he's saying is your kids are not my responsibility. I'm an artist. My job is to make art. Art by nature is provocative. That's what art does. Art pushes the limit. Art moves the culture. That's what art does. All this talk about Lil Nas X, right? Babies getting shot in the head in neighborhoods across the country by stray bullets. Being indoctrinated into gang culture. But it's Lil Nas X that somehow is the problem. All these songs about drugs. All these songs about misogyny. All these songs about promiscuity. But it's Lil Nas X that's the problem. And then at the same time, you want me to believe that it's not about homosexuality. That you don't have a problem with people being gay. Well, what do you have a problem with? Because your kids are seeing all of that too. The same kids watching Lil Nas X are the same ones hearing Future, are the same ones watching WAP. Where is the outrage? Where's the outrage for that? It is selective outrage based on the fact that Lil Nas X is openly gay and you can't take him being himself. That's where the outrage comes from. And if you tell me anything else outside of that, then you're lying. You're lying. It's plain and simple. You're lying. Because I can even tell you. I can tell you this. As a trans woman, right? When I watch Lil Nas X perform and kiss a man on stage, it makes me uncomfortable. As a trans woman. It makes me uncomfortable because I still have repressed homophobia that I need to work on. But I am honest enough with myself. I am self-aware enough to know that those are things that I need to work on. When I see, because I'm a trans woman and I present as female, my man presents as man, we present as a heterosexual couple, we don't have that dynamic that I see when Lil Nas X kisses another man, and so I'm just like, oh my God, it's a lot. And if you say it's a lot, I'm not used to it, it makes me uncomfortable, let's have that conversation. But when you start lying, talking about it's not because you're homophobic, you're lying. You're not keeping it a buck. You're not. And I see you for what you are. And that is a homophobe. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay that you're a homophobe. But the first step to getting better is admission. Just admit it. Admit it makes you uncomfortable. Admit it. And stop trying to judge this man for being himself if you're not going to judge all the other stuff. You coming down on Lil Nas X and we live in a world of world star hip hop. Do you see what the kids do over on World Star Hip Hop? Do you see what they promote and propagate on World Star Hip Hop? And it's been going on for years. The violence on World Star Hip Hop, it becomes a chant when people are about to get into some sort of incident. World Star, people are going to record the violence. Not intervene, not stop it, not say, hey, what about the kids? They record it. And guess what you probably do? Go watch it. Go watch it. Go like it. Go share it. You think it's funny. You think it's cute. Because it's not gay. Because it's not gay. The only thing you have a problem with when it comes to kids is gay. No problem with drugs. No problem with that. So, I just had to get that off my chest, y'all, because I'm just so sick of people coming for Lil Nas X. I'm so sick of people running around here talking about they're not homophobic when they really are, transphobic when they really are. You got to start having some honest conversations with yourself. You got to start having some honest conversations with yourself. That's the truth. If you see two men kissing and it makes you wince, you need to ask yourself, where does that come from? And you may never like it. You may never like it. You may never be comfortable with it. And I'm not trying to force it on you to tell you that you need to be comfortable with it. It is your life. You have a right to your own beliefs, your own principles, your own values. You have a right to that. But don't come on here trying to use these kids as scapegoats. These invisible goddamn kids. These kids, Lil Nas is out here, not out here turning kids out. You know, damn, I watched a video about a rocket scientist, and I don't suddenly think I'm a rocket scientist. There's work to do to get there. Y'all done made me hot. 2 videos in one day, you guys. Please make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share this video. Definitely comment below. I'm really curious to hear what you guys have to say about this subject. Whether you think that there is this quote-unquote gay agenda, this gay agenda nonsense. It kills me that all of this drugs and violence, like, what you calling that agenda? What's that agenda called? What's that agenda? this promiscuous culture. Like, what are we calling that agenda? What are we branding that agenda? Okay? Because I know way too many children who have been affected by drugs and violence. I'm not familiar with a whole lot of kids out here whose lives have been damaged long term because someone was gay. I don't know those kids. I know lots of kids in jail because their mother was on crack, their father was on crack, and that pathology continued from generation to generation. I know lots of teen mothers out here who are teen mothers because their mother was a teen mother, and that pathology continued from generation to generation. But I don't know a whole lot of people whose dad was gay, and not because their dad was gay, they're gay. They might have had a gay dad, and they may have been gay, but it wasn't because of their daddy. It was because they were gay. So stop the nonsense. Focus on what's really important, and who a person sleeping with is not important, okay? There are some real evils at work in this world. Focus on cleaning up our neighborhoods. Focus on giving kids a safe environment to grow up and learn in. Focus on voting. Focus on voter suppression. Focus on the fact that women's reproductive rights are being taken away. Focus on the fact that the rights of black people, voting rights of black people are being suppressed and taken away. Y'all worried about Lil Nas X. I cannot with these people. I cannot. Lil Nas X is suddenly the culprit, the villain. All right, you guys. They done made me mad. They done made me mad. All right, so please do me a favor. I'm not sure if I said this before, but like, comment, subscribe, and share. And as always, in closing, ask yourself this one poignant question. Why be bitter when you can be better? So let's be better together. I'm the Mass Trans. I'll talk to you guys again in my next video. Mwah. Bye-bye.